Hello, foodies. My name is John, aka Food Coaching, and today we are bringing you episode 418 of the Food in Review podcast. Today it is all about Weekend League in review. We talk about our Weekend League experiences. We talk about the release content and, of course, the player we've been using. And what is so important about being confident in game. How does confidence influence your results and mindset, and how can you actually do something about that? And let's start the show though by introducing my fellow hosts with, it's no other than the scout all the way from Perth, Scotland. It's Nathan.
Hello. Thank you for having me back on again, John. This is becoming quite a regular occurrence, us having a wee show, so happy to be back on.
Yes, it's very good to have you on. Don't thank me for being on. People want you back, so we get you back, right? That's how it goes.
That's it. You're a good flatterer there, but I'll take that.
I mean it. And we're doing the show today with the two of us because I think we have a topic in the form of conference that needs some more discussion, and we don't want to make this a 90-minute during podcast. So let's get this started with the question. Nate, have you played Weekend League, and how's it been for you?
So I didn't play Weekend League, much the same as most weekends. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to have the time for it. But I have played a couple of hours here and there. I've got about 20 or so games with Erling Haaland, which is the one player from this Bundesliga team that I've managed to play with. So just a quick overall, he starts off fantastic. All the stats in the right places. The more I use them, the more I keep forgetting that he's got 3-star skill moves, and I keep losing the ball trying to do a little bit more skills with him. So not the greatest player for me, even though I like the bigger strikers. I've dropped him, and I'm now going with CR7 and Cantona up top. But quite a relaxing weekend in comparison to some, I believe, with their weekend leagues. So, John, did you manage to play?
I did. Actually, sort of had plenty of time. I have much to do, but I really like that the weekend league is now extended all the time, right? So you can just split it up rather easy. And I was thinking just do 5 games a day and we'll be fine. I ended up doing 5 on Friday evening, 5 on Saturday. I finished the weekend league on a Sunday already because it went pretty smooth. I went 12-1 to start off with, which was decent. I ended, however, on 16-4. Which I think is still a fine result, but in hindsight, I was a little bit disappointed I couldn't manage 17 once again, but it's fine. I have one problem though, and that is that I can't honestly be bothered by the whole Bundesliga team of the season team at all. Like, my team's done. I have to discuss that though. I think my team's like as good as it gets. Sure, you may be a little bit left to right, a little bit of stats or a work rate here and there to change, but mostly my team's done. Mm-hmm. So then there's not much left to play for, except fodder, because I do want the Cantona card. I think Cantona is the one card which I do want to add to my team. So I played to get high-rated card to use as fodder, and I got as red picks. I can't even remember Diaby. Which of course is fine, right? I don't think I'm actually going to use it. And then Dika, actually. I think red picks wise it was pretty reasonable. However, I got the team of, team of the season pack with 3 players into it. Those were all EFL cards, unfortunately. There was no Bundesliga cards in that. Which was a little bit frustrating, quite honestly. I think it had Telford in it. Did it have Naismith? Could that be the case? And I'm pretty sure. Oh, it had Mitrovic in it, which still was 100k. So I did sell him right away. Like, okay, can't. That's all right. Just sell him. Honestly, though, it's 190k of tradable cards you get from it. 2 good red picks. So honestly, I don't think you can actually complain. But I don't see myself changing any players in this anytime soon.
Yeah, there's a couple of players. I'm sure the guys spoke about it on Friday. There's still a couple of players that I would love to have, mainly Bellingham. He's still
that's it.
So he's good. I've heard very good things about Diaby. A lot of people say he's very fun. Alphonso Davies is getting a lot of love right now as well. especially with the Sula objective player that came out. So those two link in well, and I think Davies is about 300k or something just about now, so or even under that, I think. So actually, that's not too bad. But again, yeah, there's not many there that I would say are changing your team around for, apart from probably Bellingham is the one that you would absolutely rip your team up and start again. But he's got English links in the Bundesliga league, so you probably wouldn't have to, because most people have English players or icons in that by now. So it's not the be all and end all. But I've not seen anybody pack him either, to be fair. So that's probably one of the downsides. He's that good that he's so rare.
I haven't faced him either. His price is still very high. I could link him with Trent Alexander-Arnold, right? And link him in within Vieira or something like that. I think this should work. But I used one play this weekend, which I was very, very surprised with.
Who's that?
That was Royce, actually.
Ooh.
Declan Royce. A card I packed last week. I think on the last day of these upgrades, I just cleared everything in my club. And I got that one as last. Like, you know what? Oh, no, I got him and Bruno Fernandes. So I was like, you know what? I'll try them both and we'll see what happens. Fernandes needed let me start with Bruno Fernandes. I think that's a good one. Let's see if I can review Bruno Fernandes in one more minute. So my Bruno Fernandes has been playing as a cam. I wouldn't want to use him as a central midfielder necessarily, or CDM at least. I don't think his defending is good enough. So I used him as a cam. His crossings are amazing. High. I quite love it. His weak foot makes him unable to play on the left side of the pitch, which is a bit unfortunate. And then he still has the Forster skill move, which is a little bit meh, quite honestly, if you combine that. Crossing is good. If he gets a chance, he can on the right foot. His finesse shots are lethal. In the end, he played 35 games over the weekend and he scored 4 goals. So I'm a little bit on the downside of him. I have replaced him once again with Wout Weghorst, who I brought back as a cam in the 4-2-2. So W9 is back. Bruno Fernandes is out. Average card, I'd say 6, maybe 7 out of 10 after using him for a long while. So,
what chemistry style do you have on Fernandes? Because, well, I'll say to the listeners, you know, I was lucky enough to get an early peek at your tactics that are coming, and I pretty much could replicate the team that you had, give or take a couple of players. So I started off with Royce like you had, and I swapped him out for Bruno, who had been using in my version of 4-2-2, but I had a Hunter on him because obviously within range he is mental with his shooting. I've put a shadow on him now, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't know whether it's my Manchester United bias as well, to be fair. Royce, I think in my head, in real life, he lacks going forward. So I think on the game, in my head, he's lacking going forward, where I need to separate real life and FIFA in a way.
I used a Hunter on Bruno. I play him as a cam, like I said. I need 2 big, strong CDMs in the new 4-2-2 tactics. And that basically is Royce and Vieira in the current setup. But for example, I used Bernardo Silva as the other cam, and he now played 60 games in the last 2 weeks, and he scored 29 goals. So I think that shows that I think that card is actually much better for me. Exactly the same position. So I think Silva managed to stay in while Bruno Fernandes got out. And the one I was surprised from, like I said, is actually Declan Rice. So let's see if we can give a review in 1 minute of Declan Rice starting now. So Declan Rice, 6'1", CM, medium high. I used a shadow, very boring, but that is what I used. I wanted him as a center defensive midfielder that got everything that Vieira couldn't manage. So his speed might be one of the biggest issues, I think. You can only use this card, in my honest opinion, as a proper CDM. So you don't really want him to use as a cam, or you don't want him to go in front of the goal too much. Because, of course, he has the same problem that Fernandes has. He has the 3-star weak foot and even a 3-star skill move. So his physicality is huge, though. And that's a big win for me. So him and Vieira next to each other worked as a stable footing. Didn't notice too much different, honestly, with Rodri. So I wouldn't have any trouble replacing Rodri with him again if I pick a good Spaniard next week.
That's a good review. Maybe he's a sort of player that I need to give a bit more time to, and be a little bit more open-minded than just his real life. I like him in real life, but I just can't see past Bruno.
No, and I can imagine it, right? And I wanted to like Bruno because he is a perfect fit for Ronaldo, of course. He fits perfectly between Cancelo, Ronaldo, and Silva. So that triangle for Portuguese players in Premier League would fit perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just no actual success rate with him. Like, he gives great crosses, but that's about it. Cancelo can do that as well, but he can still shoot. Same with Trent Alexander-Arnold. So I think there are better players for that. Thing is, though, Wout Weghorst isn't the agile player you want there either. So it's a little bit meh. So what happened is I played the 4-2-2. I used Ronaldo, the one to watch version, not the new 94 version. So it's the 93 version. And I used Wout Weghorst on top. And I started using Silva as right wide cam. And I used Diego Jota as a left cam. And that is an interesting card, Dayton. He actually played 51 games. He scored 41 times. And if I'm quite honest, I have no idea that he actually was playing.
That's my issue with him. Like, and he does come up with goals. I think the 5-star weak foot's like vital for him. But if you have a game where he's not involved, you notice that he's not involved. It's a very strange card.
That's
and I know
it.
the likes of Ingvi loves him and says he's what. And I think Chris as well, wasn't it? He was raving about him. I can't seem to get that out of him at all. I don't know. To be fair, I don't play him as a striker. I play him as a cam, but I think I'm lacking something with him as well. He's on the bench.
I play him as a cam as well, right?
Right. So it's probably the way that you play compared to me. But no, I can't get that out of him. Maybe I need to give him more of a go. Because I'm playing, I've got him at the moment. Mbappe's my left cam and Bernardo's my right cam. And it was the player of the month in Mbappe. So I did have Marco Royce there, the 93 rated one.
All right. Yeah.
Adam's played with him quite a lot, and Adam loves him. I think his passing range is fantastic. But I just couldn't get a song out of him. So I dropped him and brought back Mbappe, who's just been that pure pace just terrifies people, I think. And that's something that we'll probably come onto under the confidence side of things, players like that, Mbappe. But no, I quite like the fact that you're trying different players. Rice definitely isn't a meta player. Jota, I think he's quite popular without being meta. So, kudos to you for giving these sort of different players a try. The prices of them just now as well means that you kind of can. If you've not packed them, you can try different players. Some of them are holding value as well, so you can bring them in and sell them quite quickly and not lose a lot of coins apart from maybe tax. So it's definitely the time of year to try players like this.
I think it's also the time of year that you can just use any of these players and still have a great team and don't be scared of anyone you're facing. Because I faced some insane teams this weekend, and I honestly wasn't impressed by any of them because now I know, we'll talk about that in confidence as well, right? But now I know that, sure, he has 96 Ronaldo or 98 Pele maybe, but I don't care too much because is it that much of a difference with the Jota and Ronaldo cards? I doubt it. I think if I'd have those cards, it may boost my confidence, but honestly, it's not that I'm worried about, oh no, now he's going to run through my defense or anything like that. No, nothing at all, honestly.
Yeah,
and I think that's the biggest change now.
There's not really bad cards from the major leagues, really. You get obviously some incredible cards, the likes of Bellingham, Team of the Year Ronaldo, Team of the Season Ronaldo, such like. So you do get very good players. But even Rodri, who I'm not a fan of, I quick sell. He's not a bad player if you know how to use him. I think that's the issue. People like the players that you can just throw in and just run with. Whereas, these players are still very, very good in the right positions with the right player.
Yeah, and I think that's it, right? Zaha still going strong. I have him on my bench. But I also have Neymar still on my bench. Sinistera, Netfed. Now back that Diaby card, which I'm like, oh, that's a cool card. No idea how to fit him. And is he actually going to play more than Sinistera? And then I compare this, like, it doesn't matter too much. I think even Sinistera has a little less shooting, but that's about it. So why, physicality on Sinistera is way higher. So I don't know. These cards are all good. It doesn't matter. And I'm very much inclined to just toss everyone I haven't used for 10 matches into an SBC. No.
Well, you some when we were talking about Ronaldo, the 94 rated that I've got. I know you've got the the one to watch one, but I had an engine on him, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Hunter, although his finishing's already very good, you need that complete pace boost. And that's the thing with these players. You've got defenders now in the high 90s, plus you people put shadows on them, so you need that pace. So I think some of these players are now kind of hitting their limits as well. So Hunter and Ronaldo, and then in the 3 games I played with him after, he scored something like 7 or 8 goals in those 3 games. So like the difference is mental.
Yeah, and I urge people to take attention to that as well, right? Like you said, I used to run engine well on Ronaldo. When I, in a couple of games, the start of my week league was like, I don't know, honestly. It feels like he's now starting to fall behind on the curve. So I looked at stats like, you know what, let's just boost his pace, see how far we can get. And just putting a Hunter on him made it good as well. So he played 20 matches, of course, in his week league, and he scored 17 goals and gave 11 assists. So Ronaldo always works for me for some reason. But looking at chemistry styles, I think is very important to have. Also, Alisson, I've seen many critics of him this week, especially on social media. I'll be posting on the Food and Review channels a short review, I think 1 minute review again, after using him for way more matches this week with a cat on him. So he currently already played 91 games. He scored 3 goals though. Don't ask me how. No, I tend to take penalties with the goalkeeper, so that's me. But so 91 games. I've got 90 something games. Since he used the cat, he's been amazing for me. But I think that's also how do you play these goalies. I tend to early let them go out now, rush them out, and he does the headers outside of the box, one of the through balls. So I quite love that. I'll make sure I get a 1 minute review on the socials this week where you see some examples of this. But it's like
vital. I bought him, put a cat on him, then packed him on the last day. I think it was last Friday. I packed him. Forgot to put a chemistry style on him, and he had poppadom hands. He was throwing the ball in the back of his net. Ball was just kind of hitting him and going in. And I thought, oh no, I've done big David De Gea, who, being a United fan, I was like, I need to put him in. But then I remembered about putting a cat on him, and he's a different player. Honestly, it's the difference is mental. And like you say, use the triangle button, or I think it's a Y on the Xbox. Rush him out, and strikers don't know what's hit them. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, so I really love him. But looking at a player and know how to play a certain player, if you look at that way, I think almost all the new players are viable. I use Virgil Van Dijk, who's got a lot of critique as well because he's too slow. But once you realize he's actually on the slower side, he's actually not that slow, but on the slower side, right? And you start running back before they actually can hover the through ball in, you won't be able to surpass him because he won't lose a header, period, right? You won't run through him, but you run past him. So if you start moving early enough with him, you'll be right. The thing is, you actually need to stay focused on maintaining that. And if you don't focus and you give a through ball and he steps out first, because that is what he tends to do, then you might be exposed and if you feel like he's too slow. But I think there's always something to be mindful of there. And I won't be able to fit anyone else in, honestly, as well. So there's that. Because even that other one, what is his name? Ndika, he looked brilliant, right? And I backed him from the Red Picks. I wouldn't know how to fit him in my team. So there's that.
Tempted to buy him. I think he's about 300k just now, 371 on PlayStation. But I'm running Varane in Team of the Year, Ruben Diaz. But it's just my left back's my issue at the moment. I had Cancelo, but I sold him because I don't really want to have 1.1 million coins tied up in a fullback, and I wasn't changing him to centre mid. So I sold him, and I've got Tyreek Mitchell in. So any listeners that want to send in their advice on how I can work a new left back in, then please let me know.
Use a right back on 7cam on the left back. Who cares?
Oh, no, John, no 7cam. Do you know me at all? It's got to be 10 everywhere. Otherwise, I end up like losing my hair and not sleeping for 3 nights.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I got one player on 8 this situation, so. But it's all right. You know how I think about chemistry. As long as it's 100 in total, I honestly don't care too much about it. But
it's personal.
yeah. 16 weeks weekend league though. I was happy with it, but with my start, I was also disappointed, like I said. I watched back those matches. I don't think there was much to be done. I did not have one big win at all, and I did not have one big lose either. These were all tight matches. I think most opponents, I don't care about the opponent's team, but I think most opponents actually were pretty good players. I had 6 matches go into extra time though, so that says how close it actually is. I've not lost a penalty series for weeks. I think that's what makes the difference for me the last couple of weeks in this weekend league. I think it's all about, well, confidence. But before we talk about confidence, Nate, have you checked out the content?
Yeah, we've had a fair bit of content. We've had the minor league, which is the Saudi league, I think it is. So the highlight of that, hold on, I'll just double check. I think it's the Saudi league.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it's the Saudi league. So highlight of that league is the very, very popular Anderson Talisca, who is a 93 rated centre forward. Fantastic stats: 92 pace, 94 shooting, 92 passing, 95 dribbling. 86 physicality, 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot, high-low work rate as well. He looks phenomenal. He was extinct. I think they've upped the price range now, so he's in at 1.2 million on the PlayStation, 935 on the Xbox. Very good player. Well, looks it anyway. There's been a few other ones. To be fair, I think they've kind of rehashed the same team from last year.
Not Skyna.
Players. Higazi's in it. The new one's a Gallo because I think he was at United, but he's got low work rate, so I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole, even though he looks all right. Roman in it. So yeah, we've got a few of the old favourites in it. Some decent players.
But you need to have a very specific team to fit all these guys in, though.
You do, unless you're Brazilian. There's quite a few Brazilians in it, so that's unless you're rocking a Brazilians at a league as Brazilian team, then you'll struggle for most of them, I think. So yeah, that was Sundays that came. We've had quite a few SBCs as well. The premium Bundesliga upgrades back. There's an interesting one, John. I don't know whether you've looked. 75 times 10 Bundesliga upgrade.
It feels expensive, mate.
It is. I think it's an 84 rated team with a team of the week. So it's coming in, between 43 and 46k, which is quite a lot for 75 pluses. I did it just for science. My best player was
science.
For science. That's my excuse to do all these ridiculously daft things. Yeah, my best was an 84 rated, and I instantly regretted. But because I only had about 2 84s and the rest were just complete fodder, I couldn't even recycle it into another attempt. So yeah, I'm a sucker for an SBC, which is why I've got no cards in my club right now. I wasted them all in the picks last week. We've had some more Bundesliga ones. We've had the TOTS challenge, which has a token if you're following up for the swaps.
We should just zoom in on the 75 times 10.
75 times
I don't
10.
think. I don't think you should do this. It requires one team of the week or one team of the season card as well, right? A 60 chemistry required for it, and an 84 rated team, like you said. I think it feels a little bit silly. You might end up with, I don't know, 10 75s.
Pretty much. It's got 12% of thumbs up and 88% of thumbs down, so on Footbin. So that shows you what the community is thinking to that. Again, I was the mad scientist, as you call them. I did it. I would highly recommend staying away.
Are they tradable?
No, I don't even think they're tradable, actually. I'm pretty sure they're not.
It's untradeable, yeah.
I think so, yeah. I've not looked into the app, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
It's untradeable, so...
Just ridiculous. Even in my empty club, I still managed to get dupes and didn't know what to do. Leave it well enough alone if you can. If you're an idiot like me, try it. You know, good luck to you if you pack somebody fantastic, but I'll just be bitter and jealous if that's you.
Yeah, I mean, I probably will do it now, right? Just
Probably.
for science.
Just for science. And you see, if you get one better than an 84, John, I am muting you in the chat.
I thought you already did, because...
I do try. I only unmute you if I want to wind you up a little bit. So.
All right. That's all right.
But we've had some other players as well. We've had Paulinho with an under-23 TOTS moment for the Bundesliga, who actually looks all right. He's a 92 rated Brazilian cam. Decent stats. He's only just been released, I think, today. He's about 100k it's coming in at. And he looks pretty decent actually. He's got good pace, good passing as well. So if you could work him in, the only thing is the dreaded medium work rates with a 3-star weak foot. So
They should just get rid of work rates, mate.
Yeah, love to give decent looking players a medium work rate. Which is why I don't understand. Sorry, I'm totally going in a different direction. But the love about Nkunku, I know in real life he's been brilliant, and his cards stat wise looks amazing. But he's medium, and I just can't get on with that at all. I know some of the better players may, but not for me.
No, so I get that, but it is a really good card if you don't consider the work rates. The thing is, like with how do you call him? With Witzel, I get the work rate issue. I would stay away as well. With the Nkunku, I'm not sure because you can still trigger them, and he still comes into position where you might play him forward. But it's a lot of coins though for a player you're a little bit unsure about as well.
Yeah, I think he's 1.8 million, isn't he? So again, I think that's quite hefty. 1.72 on the PlayStation he is, which is a lot of coins for a player that, like you say, you're unsure of.
Yeah.
But we've also had for our especially our sort of Discord community, one that's very, very popular. We've had the Showdown for the Europa League final. So we've had some couple of very good looking cards there. We've got Connor Goldson, the centre half, the English centre half.
He's back. His favorite centre back from last year.
His team of the season, was it the community team of the season he got last year?
I love that card.
He was a rock, wasn't he? So he's a 90 rated just now, 88 pace, 91 defending, 91 physicality. Medium high work rates, so he's got the right work rates. Looks a very good card. He's 55k. So that looks very good. And then Da Costa is a right wing back, his opposition card from the Bundesliga, who kind of fits in at the moment with the current team of the season from Frankfurt. Again, he looks very, very good. He's 92k. He's actually more expensive on the Xbox. He's 101 on the Xbox. But both these cards look fantastic if you can work them in. I don't know if you've had time to look, John, and looked into them in more detail.
No, not yet. What I did do is I did the SBC, which you just discussed. I don't want to get muted, so I'll tell you all about after the show.
I'm just going to hang up now. Sorry.
Yeah. I got the Slaughter back from it, honestly. So.
Oh, very nice.
So that's not too bad. I got my Bundesliga backline sorted now. Although I'm definitely I think that's still my issue now. I was so extremely focused on Premier League team of the season, and I fixed my team, if you can say that. I can't fit anyone else in except if I would just rebuild everything, and I don't think all these cards are just all right, good. They are actually good, but they're not better than what I'm using. So why would I try them? Well, for science, like you said, be able to review them next week on the show. But that's about it, right? Although 91 rated card fits nicely into Continent's SBC, so that's probably gonna end up there.
That's it. Give him a few games to see what and then fire him into the SBC.
Fair enough.
But you can use him in the Bundesliga Cup to get a few more player picks and packs. So if you use them in that, win 3, you get a token in the Cup, which I am dreadful at because my Bundes team is pretty much all gold apart from 2, and they're very low rated gold as well. So I'm getting completely outmatched by all these people with full team of the season teams.
Don't be outmatched. Don't feel sorry about that. You talked about Da Costa, right?
Yes, Danny Da Costa, the right wing back.
All right. So I got one thing to say about this one. Face stats, bloody brilliant. Can't say anything else about this. He got high work rate as well, right? 4-star weak foot. Bring it on. It is that I got Trent Alexander-Arnold, but this card can still get boosted as well.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting card, honestly. I don't necessarily think he'll get an upgrade. I also want to make sure all our Scottish listeners stay focused on our show. But he does look really cool, though.
Yeah, I'm quite tempted to. I don't have any way of fitting him in, but I think with the +2, he will be end game with a +2. You put an anchor on him now, and he's a 95 rated right back, centre back, and left back. So if you want somebody that's versatile, we've spoken about that in other pods about having. I like to get players that can go, fluid formations and positions, and this guy looks like somebody that could definitely do that.
Yeah, but it goes for Goldson as well, right? I think both of these cards are very good.
Me, but he's a Rangers player, and we've got too many Rangers fans in the community, so I'll just bench him just to get a rise out of him.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it though, but I'm just checking, but there's no formation that can use 6 center defenders. So like I can't fit Marquinhos in, I can't fit Van Dijk in, I can't use Maldini, I can't use Goldson, and I again forgot his name, Ndiku.
Oh.
So yeah, that's gonna be Ndika. That's gonna be a little bit difficult for me to fit them all in. But very, very cool card. I might just save up, just don't do any SBCs in the meanwhile, because a part of me says that we might get a big icon SBC shortly.
I'm not sure. While we've still got these fodder packs, I could well imagine EA holding on to the big ones until just after Team of the Season, where everyone's ripped all the cards and put them into league-specific players.
That's also a fair one, honestly.
I could be wrong, but now they've got the TOTS token as well as the new icon swaps coming soonish. I could see them waiting a little bit until everyone's had time to do the next set and then rip them as well. But hopefully I'm wrong. I might be being a little bit too cynical, but I think it's about time we get a, maybe not the top tier card, but like someone like a Zidane or someone who's still very, very good without being the be all and end all, if that makes sense.
I wouldn't mind Zidane, honestly. Mm-hmm. No.
Exactly. So somebody like that I could see coming soonish, and I'm hoping, but you never know.
Should I complete content or wait out? Well, we'll see soon enough. Lots of upgrades beside that. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I just want to say, I think EA has actually done pretty well. The 75 times 10 is expensive, but it's there to be ground for people to grind at. League SBCs have come back, but not all of them. But I think there's plenty to do, plenty of SBCs to keep it fun, plenty of objectives to do, plenty of packs to be won. So I think it's quite a good time if you've got time to play the game, and even to grind the menus as well. So fair play.
Very true, and I like the fact that you can get 281 plus for only silver rare players.
Yeah, absolutely.
They need to be a little bit high rated though.
I think but 72 rated team for it. So, but then if you've been sort of grinding the bronze pack method like a lot of us have, or if you just weren't sure what to do with those untradeable silvers, apart from the first couple in the icons, then definitely gives you something to plow them into.
For sure. But is it worth piling stuff into SBCs or in upgrades if you are not confident playing, Nathan?
No, confidence is huge. As well, being the foot coach that you are, confidence, I'm sure you'll realize is such a big deal in terms of FIFA, football, video gaming, life in general.
Yeah, exactly. The reason why I was saying this weekend, Monday mornings are usually the busiest morning at foot coaching, because what happens is we open up our mailbox, and not only do we have a look at our new patrons, which by the way you can check out at patreon.com/foot in review, and we then say hi to them. And I want to say especially hi to our Skybox owners that are Amar, Reese, Daniel, and of course Archum for supporting this show financially in the biggest way possible, and they get a lot of extra benefits, including a free coaching session every single month. But also when I open up my mailbox on a Monday morning, there's a lot of people that are being fed up with the game because it is rigged, it is not going their way, their things not the rewards aren't on par, or everyone else just has a much better team. And I think, Nathan, I know 90% of those things can be fixed by having a little bit more confidence in yourself. Self-confidence is extremely important. And sometimes self-confidence, and we spoke about this before, it has been aligned or compared to arrogance or having a big ego. And I don't think that's necessarily true. But before that, so I want to quickly explain what is self-confidence, right? And people probably know this, but Um, it's hardly necessary if you're like a real athlete, but self-confidence is reflected in everything people say or do, right? It's in what they wear, how they look, how they play FIFA, how they start a match. I can see in 1 minute if my opponent is confident or not, right? Instantly, right? And I think the self confidence, right, is sort of the guardian angel of everything we do in sports. Let's put it in sports perspective, or it's the nemesis of many people. One of those two things. And the only reason, and I know this might sound arrogant, but I think it's always a little bit on that line, right? The only reason I perform pretty well at my 37-year-old age with I don't know, my whole body collapsing and having 2 kids running around and everything going around there, but I still perform well in weekend league is because I'm confident in what I'm doing, right? If I see an opponent's team, I should say, I couldn't care less. I'm like, oh, he's got hooded, he's got R9, he's got cool, he spent a lot of money probably, but I really like him to be able to play with those players. I don't care at all, right? 1 minute in, kickoff, runs forward, and I'm like, okay, you're not self-confident, you are just rushed, and you're probably uncertain. You just lost the match, now you want to get back really quickly. Then I know enough, probably can win this game by just staying calm and trusting in myself. There's a lot of things to discuss. I could talk about this for an hour, Nate, but I think you can improve on your self-confidence by quickly doing some things, right? But the biggest issue with self-confidence is if you have a bad performance, that will hurt your self-confidence. And if you have a good performance, it will help your self-confidence, right? And if you have a good self-confidence, your performance will always be better. I was in a school where they taught all about sports psychology, and we had 6 things that can influence performances. I'm not going to do all 6 tonight, Nathan, but I just want to get your opinion on some of them. The biggest thing, what I see in FIFA happening a lot, is the performance accomplishments hurt or boost the self-confidence, right? If you perform good, you feel better, you're confident, and you automatically will start playing better. But Nate, if you're not having a good run of performances, and you feel your self-confidence being let down, you will start playing worse, right? Yeah. Is there any way or you can recommend people to improve still on their performances or be confident so that will not be hurting themselves?
So, going from my experience, and John, as foot coach, you might want to close your ears for this. There's a number of things. So my first one is basically to text Dan or Adam or yourself and say, I am terrible at this game. It hates me. It's rubbish. I'm on a bad run of form. So not that I even mean that I'm rubbish. I'm not great by any manner or means, but I'm not a bad player. But I like to vent a little bit. So I quite like to let go, have that release and let go. I take a wee break. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour a day, potentially, if I'm feeling really down with it. Sometimes I'll go onto a different game mode. So if you're struggling in weekend league, if you've had 2 bad losses in weekend league, then jump into rivals or jump onto squad battles at a difficulty that'll, you can beat the AI 10-0, 5-0, whatever it is. Just, get the goals, start discovering how to play and get your patterns of play back. Because obviously in FIFA, patterns of play is quite important. So that's what I kind of do to get almost like a feel-good feeling. What I used to do is change my tactics every 30 seconds. I've lost the goal. Let's go straight back to my ultra defensive, ultra attacking, and that doesn't work. The older I get, the more FIFA I play. Stability in your formation, I think, is quite a key. Where your players are going to be, how you play the game. So go back to basics. So at the moment I've got a very defensive one. I've got 2 versions of 4-2-2, and then a 4-3-3 is my attacking. If I start off on one of the 4-2-2s and it's not going for me, I go a little bit more defensive, but I just go solid. So I start doing the basics. Make sure I'm passing the way that I'm facing. I'm not forcing the ball. I'm not taking shots with 3 guys standing in front of me. I just try and do everything really simple and start again, basically, and then build a bit of momentum from there.
I think many of the things you say actually are applicable. Um, I would not. I don't. I think taking breaks is good, right? But taking breaks will not actually improve your performance accomplishments. So it will not automatically boost your self confidence. It will just make sure it doesn't drop much lower. If it can drop lower at times, right? Um, but I think one of the things you can do is change your emotional psychological state, which is sounds really complicated, but actually is not too hard. Um, so, for example, you're feeling down because you just lost 2 matches in a row, and you wanted to get, I don't know, you wanted to get 14 wins easily, right? There's 4 matches left. You need to win all 4. That brings a lot of tension on it, right? But have you done it before? Getting 14 wins. You might have, right? Else, why would you set that target for yourself? Have you done better than that? Oh, some people actually have, right? Have you ever beaten a good player? Chris is keeps saying, "Oh, I'm the coach slayer. I'm the coach slayer. I'm the coach slayer." But actually, that's a very good example of how you can turn your mindset into more confidence again and make sure that negative streak gets broken. By thinking about something you've achieved before in the same environment, playing FIFA, and there's actually no reason why you should be worried that's actually going to be done, that you can't do that anymore, right? And I think you see this a lot with really good athletes, where they on a bad form, but if you talk to them, they're like, I'm still king of the world. Muhammad Ali said, well, if I keep saying I'm the best, people will start believing it. And that's really true, right? So what I would recommend, and I've seen, like, I can open a mailbox and then there's at least 20 emails in there for people that said, I used to get 14, but now I get 11, anything like that. Well, make a little paper. Write on that paper, I got 14 wins before. Right? Just put it like this. I've scored 7 goals with this player last weekend. Put in some positive achievements you already did. You actually did this before, so you're not lying to yourself. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to that you'll get it this week as well. But what it will do is it will put your confidence. It will boost your confidence. You're actually telling yourself, hey, you actually are able to do this. You have done it before, so go at it, right? Something we do as coaches a whole lot is just saying to players, hey, you can do this. You've got this, mate. Chill. No worries. No reason to worry about this. You can do this. But we wouldn't say that necessarily if they are not actually able to do it or have done it before, because then it would make sense. So talking about it and convincing yourself by just writing a little list can just be five words, right? Before, then it's okay. Like, if I got 17 wins in Premier League Team of the Season last week, there is simply no reason I can't get the 14 wins I won this week for Bundesliga. There simply isn't, right? So when I went 12-1, and that 12-1 started to become 12-4, I was like, uh-oh, this is weird. All I had to do for myself is think, hey, but last week was pretty much sweaty, John. I got 17 wins last week. I won't make 17 anymore, but why shouldn't I be able to get, like, I don't know, 14, 15, 16 still, right? Yeah, that's true. I haven't changed anything else. The team is actually identical. So maybe it's just a little bit of bad luck or bad shape. Okay, let's do this. And I'll actually sort of convince myself, boost my confidence, and go at it. Usually, that's enough. If that's not enough, a really easy way to improve your own confidence is sort of what you're doing, Nathan, texting or talking to someone else, except leaving the negativity out of that. So instead of saying, geez, I really suck at this game, you say, guys, I'm on a bad streak, can you help me? And usually what the other players can do, what your friends can do to you, what your family might actually be able to do is remember you just of your previous good performances somewhere.
Absolutely. I mean, Dan, even today I had a bit of a rant like that. And Dan's response to me saying, I am hopeless, was, no, I'm not having that.
Yeah.
Shot it down straight away. No negativity. Building you back up again. And it worked because I won 3 in a row. So it just shows you getting out of that mindset, having a bit of confidence and self-belief, then you can sort of turn it around.
Exactly. I think if you're listening to this, make it easy. Do two things. Write down your performances you did well. Don't tell me, please, you never performed well. There's always an outlier here. I see people getting in Div 6 but still be the pro on the way somewhere, right? Or have a great achievement. Or Chris beating me on a Saturday night when pouring all kinds of alcohol in me first. But still, he did win, so he could put it on the list saying, remember, I beat John, why can't I beat this guy? And that's probably enough to get you back into that mindset. Because honestly, we humans are very smart, but we're also very dumb. All we sometimes need to hear is something positive, and we start thinking positive. So I think that's one of the things you can do. Second thing, if you're playing this game with a friend, or it's very important to you and your family knows this, make sure they can sometimes remind you of that good performances. And the third thing you can do, and you already said this, and this sounds really weird, Nathan, is just, like you said, go play a friendly, go play your rivals, go play your squad battles and beat someone 10-0. Because even if you don't have to be fully focused on it, even if your opponent actually doesn't give any resistance, the end result will still be a positive net result in the score line, right? And again, a good performance accomplishment leads to more self-confidence. And the higher you can build your self-confidence, the better your performance will actually be again.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is join a wonderful Discord and get all the chat, all the encouragement, all the coaching, everything. That was a good time to plug it, but
Definitely true. And of course, you could go to foodcoaching.com to get all kinds of help in this. But this is something we do a lot with pros. We've been discussing these situations with teams we coach during the year as well, right? Sometimes you're on a negative flow. Just remind yourself of the performances you've done. And I think you need sometimes to remind yourself. You can dig a big hole for yourself if you go into that. And I've said this to someone in our community as well this morning who actually apologized for asking help. It is always better to ask for help, right? Than to not to be helped. Yeah. So just ask someone, and sometimes just a word of this, sometimes just a word of wisdom, or sometimes a word of positivity. A Dan that says, shut up, this is not who you are, I will not have this, can be enough to get your self-confidence back up. And hopefully we helped you get on that way back. There's more of that to come forward, but maybe we'll do a masterclass about all 6 steps of things we can do. But for now, I think this is by far the easiest one. Just write it down. Put 3 positive experiences with FIFA on your note, and don't go at me at there are no positive experiences. Because if that's truly how you feel about this game, you are probably not doing this correctly. You should maybe consider stopping. But I honestly never experienced anyone or met everyone that has that. So, Nate, anything to add, my friend?
No, I think we've covered a lot tonight. It's been really good fun, though. So yeah, and if you can do a masterclass on sort of the mentality side, I think that's going to be huge for folk. I think a lot of people take that for granted a little bit. They see it being a video game. Some people think it's a rigged video game, but they just see it being a video game, and there's not much more else to it. So, obviously knowing you as you do, knowing the Discord and foot coaching as we do, it's fascinating seeing all the different aspects to gaming at whatever level. So it's something well worth sort of investigating and looking into.
Alrighty, thank you very much for joining again this day. Well, maybe next time, same place. We'll see about that. But this Wednesday, Daniel will be joining you. I will be back this Friday. Keep checking out our Patreon, which is patreon.com/footreview. I have one bit of housekeeping, unfortunately, though. That is, we promise you on Spotify that we brought the video version there directly on the app, and we did once. Then Spotify came back and said, hey, you're actually not located in the country we support this functionality for. Like, no, I'm personally not, but the rest of the team actually is. Now there's confusion everywhere. So we don't quite know if we can keep the functionality going for now. But please go check it out. We are still on YouTube in video version. And the moment we have the functionality on Spotify running again, you'll see the video definitely. But for now, I'm pretty much unsure if we get it back on the short term. I'm working very hard on it. But I think everyone at Spotify is as confused as we are currently about how this actually goes. But that's maybe why it is still in the beta variant. Well, we'll figure it out anyways. But check out the YouTube channel because we can see there us in full glory. And you can see, of course, those 433-4 tactics. I wanted to say 4222, but those are just for Patreons coming this week as well. Nate, thank you very much. There's just one thing left to do to see you Wednesday, and we gotta drop it.